Wait, right now?
Yeah.
All right, switch. Get in the water. I need the plank. Do you have your phone? I'm not missing the intro.
Sir? Hey, call the police.
What's going on?
The Wildcat just ran out with half the top shelf. Get me an officer now. That damn football team has them drinking again.
In 2012, Kentucky punched its ticket to the Final Four. But while the Wildcats made history on the court, another legend was born on the streets. They called her Kate on State.
So, is it true? Is Kentucky actually back? What do you think, detective?
It's the Catican, baby.
It's the Catican. We almost blew it, but we didn't. Kentucky wins 78-72. Fellas, how we feeling?
I just want this to be a lesson that nobody comes back from down 16 against us. Especially watching Auburn after us blow a huge lead. Really thrilled that we didn't. Felt like for a minute there we were playing really well. Kind of scary that we did let them back into the game. But Chandler had a rebound game. Mo played well. BG didn't score, but defensively, I think, stepped up. I think that things were clicking today for the most part, save that period where the comeback happened. But, like I said yesterday, survive in advance.
Yeah, I thought it was very nice that our good players played well. I think Aberdeen was probably my guy of the game today. He had 7 assists, 1 turnover, 16 points. That's that can make me start hoping, and that's probably dangerous, but I'm gonna have to leave work at lunch tomorrow so I can come home and yell. But
I had to watch it in my cubicle at 2:00 on a Thursday. That was so it's March, not to be John Rothstein, but this is March. It felt like March today, 100%. It made me very excited for next week and tomorrow.
Tomorrow feels like a fun one because at this point it does feel like we're playing with house money. I don't think anybody's expecting us to beat Florida. And I know, when it's Kentucky, you always got to think that you should be competing for an SEC title. We have matched up well with Florida in the past, although it doesn't seem that Florida's played their best. Neither have we, but we seem to be able to make them not play their best game. And who knows? Maybe this time is the time that does it, or Florida does seem like a team that's built to beat us. We'll see how it goes.
I believe this will be our first Florida game with Cam.
That's what I was about to say, yeah. And the new and improved BG. So who knows?
Yeah. I think Cam being back is going to really help. I mean, today Collin had a bounce back game. But he didn't. It wasn't that they weren't doing the same stuff they've been doing since he's been at the top of the scouting report. But he just switched it up. He also played really well on defense. There was no 3 or 4 open threes to start the game off. I thought that was super nice. We had so many good gambles on defense for steals, but Collin getting 2 dunks in a row, that was just it's hard to be at work and not lose my mind.
It did seem that they were giving us trouble today, and this might be something that we have to deal with in the tournament. When Missouri kept going to a zone, we seemed to have no plan for that.
Yeah.
And then we like to do our high screens on offense, and Missouri kept doubling off the high screen. Seemed to have no answer for that. Hopefully that's something they can look at. Who knows if that gets fixed before tomorrow, but hopefully it's fixed by next week. just a bunch of standing around. So
it's nice to have like specific objectives to try and fix, though, where you can sit there in a film room and on Synergy, you can pull this stuff up and give me every clip of this happening to us all season long. And I'm sure that's what the coaching staff is doing tonight. But that's a whole lot better of a film session than, well, gentlemen, we sucked today. What we need to do is play better. So some specific objectives I think are good. And I don't know if y'all hung around and watched the post-game interviews, but they were kind of talking to Chandler and Denzel. And one thing that Chandler said is that, he was playing really well. And then finally, when his name got to the top of the scouting report, they played him differently. The things he was able to do, the shots he was able to get off, they were taking away, and that he's had to work really hard to try and just contribute in other ways, still be an offensive threat without necessarily it being, I'm going to be wide open for threes a bunch. And I thought we saw that today. I thought he looked certainly better than he has, I think, any of the last 3 games, hit his threes, was efficient, couple boards, couple assists. Really, the whole team did pretty well from a turnover perspective. Single digits again. That's nice, especially for a team that doesn't have a point guard.
yeah,
That's. I think we've complained a ton about that issue with this team from a roster building perspective, but I really think Denzel's done about as well as you can ask for a non-point guard to have done, stepping into that role. Like you said, 7 assists today. That's great. 1 turnover, couple steals. It wasn't super efficient scoring, but he hit his free throws too. 4 of 12, 7 for 8 from the line for 16 points. Not a bad day.
I think tomorrow, if we go 40% from 3, we can win that game. I don't think we're as good of a team as Florida is, but we can. I mean, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. And I think today, I don't know, the main thing that I thought was happening today, the reason that we didn't end up just blowing it wide open, was Mo was guarding Mitchell, and that was not working at all, because Mitchell doesn't need balance to hit his shots, and he's taller than Mo. But I think Mo has played very well in the Florida games. So to me, it's like Mo and Jelly, one of them is going to be matchup dependent, and the coaching staff needs to figure that out before the game. That would be nice. And then keep going back, because Jelly should have played probably 25 minutes today, and we probably would have broke it open.
I like that he's stacking good games too. That's great production, especially as Malachi is kind of, half blind and slumping just anyway. Really good production out of Jelly today.
I thought Malachi was good today, though. I thought he had really good offensive moves, which I haven't seen in a while, especially since they're big. I mean, their bigs are strong.
Oh yeah,
and they also have that 7'5" guy.
He's Malachi's sneakily a good free throw shooter now too. It's not total dread every time he goes to the line, which is great.
Yeah. Saw the announcer jinx killed him today.
Yeah, of course.
They said this.
It was almost. I mean, usually the jinx is like, man, he is just so good, and they miss it. But they're like, God, he's really got to fix his shot, and he misses it. But he's felt almost. I mean, it's still one of the most bizarre looking free throws I've seen, but it's been reasonably consistent for as bad as I expected it to be all season.
It seemed that Missouri was giving us issues down low, particularly with Malachi, because there was the possessions where we were throwing it down to Malachi, and Malachi's trying to back his man down, and he just wasn't moving them. Malachi's got to come up with some more post moves, because it doesn't seem right now he has the strength to be a people mover. But as for what we can expect of him for right now and what we expected for him this season, I mean, overall, he has been better than what we expected him to be.
Oh, yeah. And if he wasn't, we would be screwed.
Yeah, he was never supposed to be Kentucky's starting center this year.
No.
And for the position he was put in, he's doing great.
He had 1 turnover today, which is, if he can do that, then I'm good. I mean, he had a few of the like nice spin post moves today. He also had one where he ran to the basket and got I think it was
I
Collin.
like when he does that.
It was very nice. I don't know if he plays like that, like he played today. I think we have a shot at beating Florida tomorrow. Their bigs are just absolutely ridiculous, and we're gonna have to get hot. But I think we can, and I honestly think we played better today than we did yesterday.
No doubt. Don't let us get hot.
And we weren't tired. The fatigue didn't. They played a game 24 hours later. So this whole season of Saturday to Tuesday turnarounds is so hard. It just seems even weirder.
Maybe
32 minutes for Malachi, which is
yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, and you could see it. I mean, he was kind of gassed at the end, but he played well, all things considered, especially when we were wondering whether he'd be able to see today.
And it's mostly because he was so inspired by BG's performance last night or yesterday. And so we can go ahead and give BG flowers for Malachi's performance today, I think. Just like this is what happened. Good things happen when you sprint up and down the court. And I thought Malachi did a better job of that today, of getting up and down.
See,
three blocks
Malachi got a
from him.
3-0. Malachi saw what BG did. He was like, you know what? I'm going to get in while the getting's good. Pope said green light for everybody. Let's test that theory.
Yeah, the only person that I don't ever want taking a 3 ever is Mo.
Yeah.
Even though he did get one on yesterday. But it did
Yeah,
bounce up to the sky and then got just the friendliest of bounces.
I may have Malachi on my maybe don't take a 3 list too.
But if they leave him wide open, I'm not mad that if he just does it to keep some pride, because he has hit him. He hit one in the Burger Boy tournament last year.
Very true.
It was
speaking of Missouri,
high volume.
Missouri was playing desperate today. They were the last 4 buys. They definitely needed this one because things can always get weird in the conference tournaments. And next thing you know, you're going in as the last 4 buy, and then you're one of the first teams out. So they were trying hard. I mean, the big man over on Missouri, he was starting fights at the end of it and crying into Dennis Gates' arms.
I would like
to beat
I'd
a
like to
team
say-
like that
oh,
when
go
they were
ahead.
so desperate for a win. Like that's something.
I'd like to say that the double technical continues to be wrong almost every time. I mean, this guy chirped at BG, got up in his face, and then pushed him. And then BG maybe kind of said, like, gotta get off me. But not even, I mean, it didn't even look like really a retaliation.
It wasn't even self-defense. It was like he was trying to create some separation.
Right. And I'll say that is incredible restraint given what we've seen from BG in the past. Like if you knew how hard it was for him to not react in a way that would have had me saying, well, okay, maybe double tech. I mean, good on him.
Post game, where he said they asked what he said to him. He said, he's a great player, got 30 points, but I just let him know he got 30 points in a loss.
Pure facts.
Yeah, speaking of that, Mark Mitchell really presented some problems today. I guess if you're going to let, one guy go off and then try to stop the rest, it's that Florida, they got multiple guys that will give you problems that are around the same size and build as him. So got to clean that up if you're going to have a shot in the game tomorrow.
Also, they refuse to call walks. That is just not a rule.
Game in a row. Yeah.
It was like there was 3 times where they didn't call a walk and then called the foul and they got shots out of it. It kills me. And Florida's going to do it tomorrow because they do it, because they have 3 big men on the floor at all times. And I just know, I can't be at work. I was MFing Pat Adams all day today.
You gotta like what you saw from the team in stretches there. It did seem they were comfortably up throughout most of the first half. In the second half, they were cruising at about the same altitude. And then at one point they had an open Collin 3 and an open Cam Williams 3. And if either of those go down, I think Missouri is just put down for the game. Unfortunately, they did miss both of them. And then just some weirdness that seems to only happen to this team happens for Missouri to come all the way back and then take the lead. But throughout this entire season, we've had these late game comebacks or ones where we just kind of steal it away at the end, where you can tell that the team, that they may not have been panicking when Missouri did that, because they've seen this happen time and time again. That was nice to see. But as a fan, just kill him.
Yeah. I agree.
I said yesterday that I didn't think in the first half our offense got enough credit, because we really scored, 45 or 48 or I forget, whatever, and that's a ton. You're on pace for just shy of 100 points. But we didn't give them enough credit because the defense didn't quite perform and execute at that level. Today was sort of the opposite. We only had 38 points at halftime, which is below our expectation. But I think that keeps us from giving our defense enough credit. Missouri's a top 50 or just outside offense, and we held them to 29 points in the first half. That's, I think, really where we kind of started getting our advantage, and extended that a little bit into the second half, and then of course did start letting them score, especially in the first part of the second half.
We let one guy score, so he was incredible today. Maybe is he a senior?
Yes, yeah. He was at Duke for 2 years, then Missouri last year and this year.
Yeah, he's a very NBA-esque type guy. I don't know, but did you guys notice Trent Noah hasn't played at all?
Definitely noticed.
There's this talent disparity that we've had to deal with this year, and I think it is a lot of the reason that we get down and we have to do all of this adjusting to get back into the game. But Cam Williams replacing Trent Noah is such a huge improvement on. It's not like they can't just go at Cam Williams. That's what they do when Noah's in the game. They try and get a run going when Noah's in the game. And maybe next year, if he grows 3 inches and puts on another 20 pounds, he'll be that guy. I don't know. However, it's for this tournament, and I think we win tomorrow, the vibes change. Also, that means Keegan is going to be 3-0, which is pretty impressive. But
thank you, Keegan.
Yeah,
goodness.
Yeah, X Factor apparently. But
maybe his first order of business was telling Mark Pope, "Do not play Trent Noah. You got to stop playing Trent Noah right now."
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Keegan is responsible for that. If you recall, Mark Pope actually tricked Trent Noah, who's probably suffering from intense ankle swelling.
It's going around.
I think he's checked back in after that, but he must have been hobbled, because if he did, he didn't play very well. So that's the only explanation at this point.
What happened to Figure's arm?
I don't know. He was in the sling the other day too.
BG
got him.
We already I saw this in the chat. It says already discussed the flagrant foul shot to the head rule change on Jasper.
Wild.
Wasn't that worse than yesterday's?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I mean, when Dykes is saying they're going to upgrade this, and then they don't, it's like, come on, man. Yeah, we got I honestly think there was probably a 10-point swing by the refs today. I can think of 6 foul shots that came off of what should have been walks.
The walks have been egregious recently. I mean, it's been. I know people like that's a common complaint about modern basketball and the Euro
But
stuff.
college
and
doesn't have that
the-
same problem usually, does it?
Yeah, it hasn't. This year, it's just been crazy.
And I feel like the takeaway, a lot of it from online, particularly from Arkansas fans, was pointing out the missed goaltending call on Brandon Garrison. But here's my thing: is that Brandon Garrison should be allowed to break the rules a little bit.
Yeah. Honestly,
Especially if it looks cool.
It did look very cool. It did look very, because he got up there. And also, maybe weird camera angles.
Mm-hmm.
They could have challenged it. They didn't.
Could they?
I don't know if you can if they don't.
Well, I'd have shut up.
Well, and I mean
They got the ball right
I've
back.
been on record. I've been on record saying that's dumb. Like you should be able to challenge anything. You should be able to, you know. I want them to have a ref at the monitor just sitting there overruling the calls. Like you can't. People are going to hate that because it's going to slow the game down. But you can't tell me that the guy at a position looking at something in real time had a better angle than someone whose only job is to sit there on the side and watch this in slow-mo as many times as they want.
Well, they didn't call it on him, so I would say yes. Yes, they did.
Do you remember, did he block it out of bounds, dead ball, or did play resume immediately after the goaltend?
It was dead ball.
They should totally be able to review that then, since they could immediately go fix it. But whatever, worked out for us. So did yesterday's late Collin definitely walked or carried or whatever, trapped in the press. We got away with that. So that makes me feel less bad about how bad the refs have been in general. We've benefited twice.
But we should be the only beneficiary out of the SEC.
I agree. This is Kentucky.
Well, there's all this talk about the calls that blue bloods get and the expectation that blue bloods are going to get this huge benefit as the conference wants to push them forward, as the league in some way benefits from having strong blue bloods. And we just don't get any of that. I mean, we've got a bad away whistle, and I kind of get that. But we also have a terrible home whistle. We have a terrible neutral whistle. It's pretty bad all the time.
I shouldn't know these guys' names.
Right. Well, and that's the thing that kills me about like Pat Adams, whose name I have known for as long as I can remember. That means you've been bad for as long as I can remember. And I've been watching college basketball for a long time, and he gets like Final Fours.
Without getting better.
That they are characters in the product. It's just like
TV Ted, not a good nickname. This is not a compliment.
It should be somebody in a booth.
Yeah.
The fact that we know how to say Doug Shaw's last name is just way too much. The fact that we know he has a roofing business, way too much.
We're a few years away from AI refs anyways.
I don't think
will
it's
still
ever
get
gonna happen.
teched up.
I think that the athletic directors are in on it.
Well, you'd think at least for the SEC tournament in Nashville, they would want to keep Kentucky around. All the fans that buy all the tickets, they'll stay all weekend, drink all the beer, local economy booms, but we never get the friendly whistle at the tournaments, which makes no sense.
Well, it's the power of the lobby of the poorly paid part-time referees. Everyone knows have incredible power. Not incredible wisdom or ability to get calls right, but ability to not be held accountable. They're great at that.
So something about leaving your family behind for like 6 months for little money, just big red flag to me.
Means you got to love refereeing.
Yeah.
Which is why you see this ridiculous.
Or you have to hate your wife.
Boy, do I think some of these guys who are terrible love refereeing. Do you see how excited they are to make some of these calls? I said for a long time.
They want to be a character in the show.
Right. I said for a long time, in order to fix charges versus blocking fouls, you don't need to actually change the rule. You don't need to change how you call it. You just need to make the charge motion look so much less fun. I mean, they love taking a couple like leaps and
building the suspense of which way it's gonna go.
Yeah, especially in a critical moment. I mean, they play it up. They love that shit.
Yeah, imagine they had to go like they had to do like flutter fingers for it.
Charge.
It's embarrassing. Yeah.
Collin did get
They have to
got
do-
a charge today, didn't he? He drew a charge.
Yep. It was
That was
big
nice.
time too. We needed that one.
That was nice.
When it was going down to the waning moments, we had BG guarding Mitchell, and on one possession, BG forced a pass out of the post, and then on the next one, BG was able to hold him off to where when he made the turn, Otega came in with the help defense, which was very similar to what we did against Cooper Flag.
Yeah,
and that's what
Right.
sealed it.
Yeah, I think that it is. If you can get them to commit to using one dude, Mark Pope can scheme. He can scheme there, and maybe that is. I don't know. I mean, that's something that he does very good at. Like,
I think that BG may have had the best 0.1 rebound 4 foul game of all time.
well, the 4
Plus
blocks,
the blocks.
is huge.
Yeah, no, right. That's what I'm saying. Like he, even though his counting stats aren't great, blocks aside, 4 blocks is awesome.
3.5.
I mean, I thought he, well, right. But like I thought he played well. You know, for not really having anything to show for it other than the blocks. At no point was I screaming like I certainly am sometimes.
You know, I love so BG in another post-game interview. He said, "You know, I'm one of the best defenders in the country," and I just absolutely love that he does not read negative shit online ever. Like, obviously, never consumes any of it.
BG said
Well,
that.
BG said that. Yeah.
To his credit,
You know, BG does read though the Catican's
Does he?
tweets. He's
Does he
liked
really?
one of our tweets.
Here we
I
go.
think to his credit, he does switch very well. I mean, I think he's quick enough and has good enough footwork that he can switch. I'm not going to say 1 through 5. I'm going to say 1 through 4. He can guard anyone else, but almost inevitably he does that, leaves the 5 wide open, who then dunks all over Collin Chandler, who's doing his best. You know, but I think that he really does have a capability. I mean, he moves well. He he's big and he's hand in your face. I think it's just that maybe doing that switch isn't necessarily always the best decision.
He played the final 2 minutes today and was huge in it. He had him and Otega forced a baseline heave at the shot clock, got the rebound. Then he cleared the lane for Otega's drive layup. Then they got that steal that Jared was talking about. And then I forget what happened for them. But that was the final 2 minutes. It was a 1-point game, all BG. We ended up winning by what? It was 75-70 when I stopped paying attention.
78-72.
Okay.
He also clears the lane very nicely. Like, Malachi does a good job of helping our non-ball handlers get up the court with his like slow dump truck style blocking. But BG does do a really good job of like just absolutely off-ball disrupting the defenders in the paint.
There was a point where BG had it at the 3-point line, and he was looking to dish it out, and he was looking at Otega, telling Otega to cut. Now, Otega didn't listen to him and just stood there watching him, but I liked seeing that out of Brandon Garrison trying to direct the traffic. And at that point, I was like, Otega, I've been liking what I've seen out of BG. Maybe we should defer to Garrison here.
Yeah,
you should just cut.
Well, and like I said, BG had this great 0.1 rebound 4 foul game. I thought Otega had a not great 21-point game. I mean, he was relatively efficient for him. Sometimes, you know, he's got 20 points on 25 shots. Here it was on 18. So, but not a lot of movement. I don't I don't think. I thought he was worse than usual defensively. I thought he took a bunch of long twos we didn't need to take, which is a common complaint of mine, especially recently. You know, not going to look, you know, and say, damn it, you know, 21 points is 21 points. That's a huge help. But especially in important games like this, I'd like to see him play better. I'd like to see if BG is more aware of what needs to be happening on the court than you, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
He is our best communicator.
We learned that on the broadcast
Yeah.
yesterday. We can cite a source.
I thought Aberdeen had a really, really good, inefficient game today. Like,
Yeah.
7 assists. I thought, and then defensively, I think, who was that Sean White looking dude? What's his name?
The curly hair?
Yeah. That guy. Oh, I mean, he tried the Otega Oweh, like, Oklahoma move and then missed it. He had it. He had that shot. Like, it was there for him to get. That was brutal.
Especially for Otega to get the rebound on that too.
Yeah.
That's what did him in.
Crazy hair is T.O. Barrett.
He actually had a
Turnover Barrett.
Inefficient but nice game. 13 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 3 turnovers.
And you know what? I don't even want to make it seem like we're going too hard on Otega. At the end there, Otega taking it to the basket, like he had some huge ones there, and
Right.
his threes, like he pulled through for us.
Yeah. I just want more out of him, because if he moves, the rest of the offense opens up. And there was a lot of standing around today.
Especially in that period when they were coming back, I thought, you know, it wasn't necessarily our best lineup. You know, Jasper was in playing point. As far as offensive firepower goes, it wasn't necessarily 1 through 5 who you wanted in there. But you got to move. Don't just stand there and pass the ball back and forth. That's the worst. It's not fun to watch. It's not effective.
Yeah. It's also like frustrating when you watch Collin make 5 laps and then nobody else move.
Right.
Looking at the chat, we have 502 Gutter Crew says Denzel goes off tomorrow and spills the secret sauce on how to beat the Henri Gators with tiny Mandumla Amlangatas.
Damn. Deep cut.
Yeah. Peanut Butter Posse with a question here. Seriously, though, can we trust BG to bring him back? And then it's like he decided to start putting in effort because contract time is coming.
I think he's getting his trade value up.
I think bringing him back all depends on if he's cool with the price and the role we give him. I don't want big, expensive, big playing time BG, but I'll take third post player BG.
My problem is I said that last year, and then I've been screaming at the TV every game.
I know, but
since.
imagine if we didn't keep BG, we just wouldn't have had another big. We would have had to not Richard Potter, basically.
Right.
Which maybe that would have been great. I have no idea, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I think I agree, depending on role. And I'll say 4 games ago, I don't think I would have said that. I think he, you know, if we want to talk about increasing trade value or retention value, he's really, you know, done himself some favors the past several games. But peaking in March is not really a bad thing either. I think in general, people like when players and teams do that. So
also, he has room to grow. Like, the stuff that is wrong is not because he doesn't have the athletic ability to do it. It's stuff that he will get another off season to work on, just not making stupid decisions. And I think even if he's like 15% better, that's still a very good reserve big to have. And then it's like, don't go, and we have somebody in the house making those decisions now. Don't go like make sure he doesn't go somewhere else type bid on him. but don't give him say the only way you're saying is if you don't get paid, like
Yeah,
yeah.
what can Keegan Brown do with BG? What can Keegan do to help
Whatever
his
he's
development?
done the last 2 days. Whatever Keegan Brown has done to unlock
Keep it up.
BG.
Is Keegan Brown the BG whisperer?
I think so. BG and KB.
Oof.
We should get some shirts together with like Buddy Cop, BG and KB.
There's some sort of BG, KB, and then what is it? KBG. Yeah, whatever. I'm dumb. There's something there. I just can't figure it out right now.
I think we should call Keegan Brown YKB.
I think we should call him the Tweak.
Ooh.
I like that.
That's fun.
We lost to Missouri this year, and we only beat LSU this year because of absolute prayer. So we have improved. That's good.
I'm just thinking, do you know how mad Mark Fox is going to be if he's had to put up with BG shenanigans for 2 years not playing well, and then he leaves and Keegan comes in and just totally like tames the beast, and he's great and not frustrating in all of the ways that Mark Fox is grabbing him by the collar and grabbing him by the arm. And
yeah, maybe BG doesn't respond to tough love, but deep analytics and stuff like that, and intellectual stuff.
As a scholar,
he's been on Power BI just like flipping through dashboards the last 2 days. He's like, it clicks. I get it.
Quit grabbing me, Mark.
On an iPad.
Oh man. I do think, I think it just kind of comes down to what I think basically what Keegan says. I mean, that's essentially why they're bringing him in. I am preparing myself to say goodbye, and that does stinks, but hey, what a way to end it, right?
Can we spell Y with like a bye with a Y that is almost a G? Like it just doesn't quite connect at the top, so it's
I like that.
Odd Future Wolf Haley says, what do y'all think of Louisville losing to Miami?
I liked it.
I did
supported
too,
that.
yeah. Also, we are the Catican and we are Pope enthusiasts and Pope enjoyers. However, if there was a guy that I would want to bring in to be the head coach, his name is Jai Lucas, because he is a good coach. I think that's been proven this year with kind of a rough roster. But I also think if he was at Kentucky, he would be getting loser type people, which a better in-game coach version of Coach Calipari would be pretty sick.
I think he's certainly someone to monitor. Obviously, Pope will be back next season, so we'll see how he does then. But I could certainly see it. I mean, he's just got to win, right? That's kind of the thing holding him back right now.
Yeah, but be Louisville.
That's a good start. Mark says, "What's up, guys? Do y'all think we have a chance? Cam can maybe guard their star wing." I think he means Hauk. Either way, maybe I can't pronounce it.
Haugh. I only know how to spell it.
Yeah,
but yeah, it does definitely sound like a K. I think Cam is a lot better than Noah at guarding him.
Really, our last two Florida games, we gave up crazy runs to start it, right? So if we don't do that, I like us to at least keep it interesting.
Yep. You kind of like
we are
Cam and Mo being out there.
The only other team that has kept Florida within 10 since December 13th. Well, and of course they lost to Missouri and Auburn in between there. But in Florida wins, the only other team to keep them within 10 was Vandy once at Vandy. And we've done it twice recently. Florida's really, really good. I mean, they have a good roster. They play well. They're coached well. They're strong. They're tall. They can shoot. Their guards have figured it out. I mean, it's going to be tough. I certainly wouldn't put money on us to win. But like I said, we've played them better than anybody. We beat them last year when they were obviously a pretty good team too. And it could happen. I know everyone says that it's really difficult to beat a team 3 times. I don't know if I buy that. And I think if you look into it, actually, the team that won the first 2 is likely to win the third 2 because they're just better. But if we lose, I'm totally going with the narrative. The last time, and don't fact check me on this, I'm not going to say the last time it happened. The last time I remember losing to Florida 3 times in a season was 2014, when everyone said it's tough to beat a team 3 times. They did, and then we went to the championship game.
Another year.
And I don't remember how that game ended, so we don't need to talk about that. But we went to the championship game that year. And if that's the kind of season we're having, I'll take it.
Yeah, a disappointing season where a team starts looking decent in the SEC
disappointing
tournament.
Season, 7th seed. I mean, there can be some similarities.
Were we an 8 seed?
We were.
Yeah, I think we were an 8 seed. But
I think if we can get Pope to play ball and check for invites to local sorority parties and bachelorette parties in Nashville tonight, we might be able to sabotage Todd Golden.
Oh.
Okay.
It's possible.
I don't think he needs help, really.
He just needs a little encouragement.
Well, he said, presumably a day or 2 in Nashville with no game. So he's probably hit Broadway or is going to.
There's some
encouragement.
I assume this doesn't fall under Keegan's responsibilities.
It might. We'll see.
I didn't see it in the job description. What Todd Goonen's eyes look like tomorrow, and see if Keegan did his job or not.
Once again, thank you, Keegan. Wow.
Yeah.
Above and beyond. I have another one here. It's a good idea. Denim aways for the Gators. And then Pope needs to pull a Gordon Bombay and reveal the denim aways for the Cats tomorrow. I like that idea.
They really should, because I imagine they've worn 2 sets of jerseys past it. Unless they are doing laundry, the other jerseys probably stink by now.
Yeah. You don't wash denim.
No, just put it out in the sun. Let it dry.
You iron it really hard.
Alternatively, wear sticky jerseys. Maybe that will be offensive and they'll not guard you so closely. Who's to say?
Yeah.
Maybe these jerseys right now are actually lucky that we're wearing.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't switch it up.
Do you know if you're allowed to do like unique jerseys for conference tournaments? I know that they sometimes have different rules. Like, did you see DeBance's postgame last night? He came out. I guess he always does like the Nick Saban with the Coke bottle. He always has a Red Bull can. And they came out and they told him he had to cover it up. You got to put that inside this Gatorade bottle so that you can't see it. And that's a conference rule. And he was like clearly pissed. And they called on a reporter, just asking him questions. And he said, "Is there any drink in particular that you like to drink after games just to really, help you with some energy?" And I'm sure he appreciated, and Red Bull appreciated that. But I know sometimes conferences have different rules like that, and you don't necessarily get to pick what you're.
What is he a motocross guy or what? What the hell? Red Bull's not like a basketball thing, is it?
No.
They were a Formula One thing until they were, and then they were the biggest Formula One thing for a while. They just want to put that brand out there wherever they can.
Yeah, I mean they do mountain biking stuff, but basketball seems like, I don't know. We should do Sundrop.
I'm sure there's a person out there that said, "Wait, why does the Formula One team also make a drink?"
Yeah.
I wonder if that's particularly popular as a cold caffeinated beverage in the BYU area.
Ooh,
that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
It would be like
that'd be very funny.
It
if
makes
that's
sense.
why he got this NIL deal.
Back to it. Jay the Great says, do the trio of guards have what it takes to go for 60 tomorrow? If they can, UK has a chance to win.
I think we don't have to worry about that as much because we have 4 guards that can play. And when you don't have to have all 4, when you don't have to have all 3 of them clicking completely, that is huge.
Tomorrow was the supposed to be targeted date for Cam to return, right? So hypothetically, he should be like full. We should be able to see more of him tomorrow than we have the past 2 days. Hypothetically,
I think somebody, I don't know what the source is of this. I just read it. Somebody said that for the past couple of days, Pope has been taking it kind of easy from a minutes perspective with him. And I think he said he should be able to play as much as he wants tomorrow.
Let's go. That's huge.
Nice.
And you know, I don't know how much of that is timing, how much of that is the importance of the game and difficulty of the game increasing. But that's encouraging.
Especially like even if not tomorrow. I was thinking that earlier. Is there a number of games in this SEC tournament that we could win? Does his knee get healthier and healthier with each win, is what I'm saying. Will he come back and play in the tournament if we win the conference tournament?
My question is, do we want him to? I mean, given how he's looked in every game other than St. John's, and given that there has to be almost zero on-court chemistry, and that presumably he hasn't been practicing for months. Is he practicing on a swollen knee? I don't know.
I think tomorrow you do.
Yeah, maybe against Florida, given their particular roster strength, you know, just an extra 5 fouls could be big. But I definitely, especially given how Malachi and BG have been playing so far this week, it seems like they're kind of in more of a groove than they have been almost any other point this season. And tossing another guy in there, especially one who, like I said, isn't practicing, isn't, you know, doesn't have maybe that chemistry with some of the other guys. Just something to think about, at least.
I see your point. I do think that you do take the opportunity when you can have the guy who would be the biggest, fastest, strongest on the court. I'd have a bias towards playing him.
Especially because at some point, Malachi's going to get tired or in foul trouble. Jelly's not going to have a good, like, where there's going to be a need for someone just to go play defense and get some rebounds. You'd have to really simplify what the entire team's doing while he's on the court, which I don't know, maybe not worth it. But just his defense and his shot blocking would be very helpful in small stints. I don't want to say spurts again.
And then I thought this one was funny. Peanut Butter Posse says, is Shire on the hot seat because he can't coach around losing 2 starters? Yes.
Well, he's coaching for his job at this point, right? In the tournament.
Yeah, I think those Duke fans are real upset with how things have gone since his hiring. And I mean,
I hate to see it, man.
Tough looks in Durham.
All right, Titans got new uniforms allegedly, so I need to find that. Is anybody got a link in the chat to the new uniforms?
It's got to be on their Insta or something, right?
No, because they're doing like a media only like event.
Oh, lame.
We should have tried to
They're
get
not
in
even
there.
streaming it.
Somebody posted a picture earlier. I don't know if it was a mock-up or a real thing.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell. Everything's locked out.
BYU is losing.
Hate to see it.
Duke is actually winning now, by the way.
What's with everyone wanting
Houston,
Kevin Young
so
much? Why do people love Kevin Young? Like,
I don't know.
incredible.
That guy's not long for that job. He's going to go back to the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the big part of it was how good Richie Saunders was last year, despite them not advancing any farther than we did, not being as injured as we were. I think it was landing AJD despite all the money help they had there. And
they got $8 million. That was more than they paid that guy more money than most rosters cost. Most Power 5 rosters probably cost.
It definitely hurts now that they're missing Richie Saunders. He was great again this season. Him being out kills them. But they're barely ahead of us. Ken Palm. And that's with our mega injured team.
And a guy who would have went number 1 anytime over the last 5 years.
Right. They only have 2 fewer losses than we do. You know, it's not our strength of schedule has been harder. I mean, it's not like he's achieved this great thing that we haven't. And certainly we've faced some adversity that he hasn't on our way to 2 pretty similar years.
There are about 27 coaches I would take over Kevin Young.
I do like the idea if he does go back to the NBA in a few years, could be a soft landing spot for Mark Pope to return while we bring in Jay Lucas. Timing kind of works out there.
What I need is if Mark Pope isn't, which I think that he's going to win the national championship in a few weeks. So write that down. But if the awful was to happen and he were to need to move back to Utah for any reason, Utah Valley.
Yeah.
He was there before.
I think especially with maybe if any bridges were burnt when he left BYU most recently.
Or
I don't know if there were. Oh, yeah. Pope to Utah State. Now that's something.
Ooh.
Or Washington.
Yeah. That'll probably be open.
I mean,
who was the NBA player that Washington hired to their staff who also played there like around Terrence Jones's year?
Poindexter?
Yes, that was wrong timeline, but yes, yeah. I wonder if he's still there.
I don't think so.
Is Miami of Oxford going to the tournament?
No way.
Yeah, they're gonna make it.
That sucks.
I think it is. People have this visceral reaction to the thought that Auburn might make it with like 16 losses, and I get that. But I think if you asked, I'm not going to say anybody, because a lot of people really, I think, overrate Miami and say, oh yeah, they're great. But like any statistical analysis shows that Auburn is 10 times the team that Miami is.
However,
even
Auburn
with 16 losses.
If Auburn played that exact same schedule, they would have 5 losses.
I don't think so. I don't
think so, dude. I really think it's that bad. It is that bad.
I cannot think that Auburn wouldn't have got by some bums. The fact that they went the whole season without losing a game, that's March. That's college basketball, and you can't leave that out for Peso Jr.
But they didn't go the full season without losing a game. They did lose. Their whole appeal to the regular season being undefeated.
But they're the first team in
man, what a cool story this could have been.
Nah, I would much rather watch Miami of Ohio get blasted by Arizona than Auburn.
Or watch them win, which would be way more exciting than watching Auburn win a game. People would forget if Auburn won a tournament game. People will never forget if Miami, Ohio won a tournament game.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. First round of the NCAA tournament, would you rather Kentucky play Auburn or Miami, Ohio?
Miami, Ohio. Absolutely.
Exactly. Because Miami, Ohio stinks.
I mean, they talk every year about how inaccurately seeding teams really screws the other teams in their bracket. You know, either you're giving somebody too easy of a chance. And I think that's, very much at play here. Like I said, people are ranking Miami. And I think they're currently ranked. And I get it. So many people care about resume and having a clean slate really, really looks good to people. But like, if you just look at who they've played, they are not a top 20 team.
Nah, but I don't care. I want to watch.
They're not a top 50 team. They're not a top 75 team.
I don't think St. Peter's was either.
No, and that's not to say you couldn't go on a one-off.
No,
And
you
I
definitely
think-
can.
I
As we
want
know.
Miami of Ohio to play Arkansas because that would be amazing.
That would.
They would win. Arkansas would win by 150. They would sprint up and down the court all over them.
Or they would lose.
That is true. I would have said the same thing about St. Peter's or Oakland or whatever.
St. Peter's was Ken Palm 102. Oakland was Ken Palm 131. Miami is just barely above that. They're 93.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Oh yeah, definitely a chance.
And there's a
if
chance
you
Auburn
rem-
could do the same thing, right? But I don't care. Auburn's lost 16 games or whatever, and I want Pesto Jr. to fail harder than I've ever wanted anybody to fail in my life. He is Joffrey. You can't have your dad retire right before the season and screw over the entire program, and then start going to every government function to modify textbooks and me root for your team. And that's what it feels like to me. It feels like it's Auburn versus Miami of Ohio. And 10 out of 10 times, I'm going to go Miami of Ohio.
Auburn's worst loss is Mississippi State, number 101. Miami of Ohio has played Akron, who I think is like in the 60s. And they did beat them once.
But that's it, right?
Their
Everything else-
next best team that they've even played, I think, is 133 Toledo. So even still well worse than Auburn's worst loss.
I think they deserve to be in the dance. And it also rocks that a not good Power 5 team is going to get screwed out of going to the tournament because they are going to go to the dance. I love that.
It may even be Auburn.
It may even be Auburn. It probably is going to be Auburn.
I can't imagine the MAC being a 2-bid league. It just doesn't make any sense.
Imagine
I
a
think
team that gets
Akron's-
screwed by that.
Yeah.
By the bubble steal.
I love it. Bid stealing is my favorite thing ever.
When it's not happening to us, it's awesome.
Yeah. Like Gonzaga losing in their conference tournament is the best thing ever.
They have a couple. Is that the WAC?
Yeah.
For the last year.
Then what? Are they moving? Or is the
They're
WAC
moving
done?
to the rebuilt Pac-12.
Yeah.
Or Pac whatever it's going to be.
Makes total sense.
Which is just the WAC and the Mountain West, right? With Washington State and Oregon State.
Oh yeah.
I think the WAC could be a 3-bid league this year.
St. Clara. Which
St.
one's
Mary's
the
and
good
Santa
one?
Clara,
St. Mary's.
both.
They
Both-
have- okay.
So they.
Well, it's in San
they're-
Francisco, right? San Francisco's there
I think
too,
so.
right?
The deep.
But
That's where Todd
they.
Golden's from.
Yep.
He came from San Francisco. I don't know that they're good this year though.
No, but I mean, like historically, they might.
Yeah,
end up
right.
beating Gonzaga. I love it when it happens.
All right. Well, you guys got anything else you want to get into before we head out of here? We'll be back tomorrow to cover Kentucky and Florida. If Kentucky wins tomorrow, might as well just go win the whole damn thing, right?
Yeah,
That's how you're feeling.
but then we got to beat Tennessee for a third time, right?
Or Alabama.
If they get there.
Yeah. The thing is that
Probably
Florida,
or Alabama.
all the pressure's on them because it's tough to beat a team 3 times. But if we play Tennessee after, we've already beaten Tennessee twice.
Yeah.
Let's beat them a third time.
Well, then we throw the rule out.
Yeah.
Did we
I
do it
do-
last year until we didn't?
I do want to. If we could go Florida, Bama, and beat them both, that would be the most satisfying way to end the season.
Revenge tour.
Speak for yourself.
Nate Oates can suck me. Is that allowed to say that? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything bad.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining the Catican. Please like and subscribe on your way out. We will catch you guys tomorrow. For Raph, Ben, Caleb, I'm Jared, and go Cats.
Go Go
Go
Cats.
Cats.